Hi everybody, my name is Justin Gerhard, the host of the Gay Man channel. And I'm... Didn't tell him I was going to do that. Okay, this is my friend Michael Montez, who you've actually seen on the channel before. We did a video all about coming out of the closet and why we need to not actually come out of the closet. Michael and I are here in BC, British Columbia, if you're from the States or anywhere else in the world.
Vancouver.
In
Vancouver. Heard of it?
Yes. Vancouver. So we're here at CBRC,
Community-Based Research Center.
Gay Men's Health Summit in Vancouver. My first time.
And mine.
We've had an absolutely fantastic end to the week here, learning about gay men's health from across the country and even around the world. Some studies that were done in Australia as well in the UK. Can you give everybody at home a little bit of an overview of what the reason is for this and why this summit exists?
Definitely. So I think part of it's doing community-based research, so looking at the community that's being affected by these issues, which is the gay community in this case, the gay men in particular, and the focus of this conference was romancing the package. So it's about a combination strategy for addressing HIV. So we're looking at all different aspects to figure out how to get this package, this combination approach, taken up by gay men and by the government and by researchers and by people who might use these combination strategies. The researchers presented new research, brand new research, brand new initiatives, online websites, photo collections, documentaries, things like that, and then analysis of the data to try and figure out what does all this mean, what can we take away from this, what can people take away back to the communities that they work in, all across Canada.
Which is what I think is important about a summit like this, is if we can't have these challenging conversations here, what do you think it's like in the places where they are not even comfortable talking about being gay? So we need to have this conversation here. We need to use that research that we've clearly gone out and acquired and formulate some strategies around working towards a world where we have very, very few people that actually acquire HIV, and then the ones that are dealing with already having it, what are ways that they're dealing with the mental health around that?
Totally. So this conference, there were some talks about other aspects, so about the mental health, about the geographies of sex, and also the Community-Based Research Center, CBRC, they have a YouTube channel that you can link to and watch. You can watch some of the content that we literally just saw, because it was amazing. Really thought-provoking, really good stuff.
What I want is for you guys to know that there are more resources than you think that are coming from literally the front lines of researchers. These are people, these are doctors and master graduate students and PhD students that are so passionate about learning about how we can move forward in a positive way.
And across so many disciplines. So I'm in philosophy, but sociology, social work, medicine, everything. It was amazing.
So some of the major themes that we noticed this year, we kept hearing about PrEP and the dilemma around PrEP. And I think that it was interesting that here it didn't seem to be as much is PrEP something that should be taken?
No, it was how.
It's how we are going to distribute this in a better way to people who may not have the money that is required right now to get PrEP. So if you don't know what PrEP is, you got to watch my video about PrEP, because my friend and pharmacist, Dr. Michael Fanous, explains what it is, and it's important to understand the differences between PrEP, TASP.
And the thing is, these
those
things are
words,
and they are really complicated. Even talking with in a room full of, not everybody was experts, but in a room full of people who know a lot about this stuff, there's still questions, and there's some ambiguities that need to be figured out.
Exactly. It's going to take time for us to create language around this so that we can talk about the best ways to understand it.
Yeah, and honestly, if you are a student in a variety, any really discipline, and you're gay or you have an interest in this issue because you find it important, because it is, feel free to do research on it.
Exactly.
Choose to write an essay, write a project, suggest that to your profs. If you want to do more research, you could be here one day.
This is the time in our world right now, because at one point we didn't even know how to deal with HIV as a disease. It was just killing people. Whereas now, people who live with it are not necessarily, it's not a death sentence. So now we can finally work on, okay, what are the mental health strategies that we need to put in place, and why are people why are bisexual and gay men more depressed and more anxious and more have a higher suicide rate than heterosexual men? So we can have these conversations, which is something that if you are a student, yes, please, we need people to study it.
Yeah. I mean, I've done research and we've both done lots of reading on love and relationships. Everybody's interested. Lots of people, most people are interested in that.
Yeah.
But there's a lot there to unpack, especially when you look at a community like gay men. When you're thinking about like how it impacts health, how it impacts mental health.
Exactly.
So yeah, it was amazing.
Which I loved because we had so much conversation about PrEP and the ways that we prevent the passing on of HIV, and so that conversation is the fact that we are having sex, and this is something that society has never wanted to talk about a lot. So we're learning how to have conversations that are uncomfortable because it's about sex. But then opposite the medical is that there are emotional aspects to having casual sex or having sex with more than one person if you're in a relationship, and so
or having a long-term relationship.
And also still having outside relationships to that, core relationship. So I think it was just beautiful to see that the conversation has begun and that it needs to continue. And that's exactly why on the channel I find myself more and more committed to the educational side of what I want to give you guys as content sitting at home, that it's not just about fun, fabulous music videos, which are also important, don't get me wrong. If you want to watch my latest music video, I'm Every Gay Man is on the channel. Also, which I think was also what I noticed about this conference and what people want, is that we can be serious and talk about these really, really important issues, but we also need to remember that humor, laughter, having fun, like poking fun at certain things and certain stereotypes are ways that we learn to work through them.
Another one of my highlights, for sure, was the Indigenous content at this conference. It was incredible.
Absolutely.
We started off right on the right foot.
We did.
with elders doing a rites of passage ceremony with young, two-spirited people, individuals. And it was just amazing, like the kind of knowledge, like making room for that in a conference about gay men, because there's Indigenous gay men.
Exactly.
It was just fascinating. There's so many different perspectives that we can learn from and that we can bring together. And that was like what was amazing about this conference. It was packed. It was like 200 people. And presenters from all, again, different disciplines in academia, different jobs, different areas, different backgrounds, different ways of approaching it. And I thought the Indigenous approach was they're just so valuable in helping us see things in a different way. Like thinking about, being gay or being bisexual as being two-spirited is just like, it's
beautiful.
It's beautiful, and it really helps us understand these concepts. Like using their traditional languages to help us all move forward on these issues that we all share.
Absolutely.
Was incredible.
And I think that, in a landscape where religion has dominated the conversation around sexuality for centuries, it's beautiful to have another language through, Indigenous history and their spirituality, understanding more about how do we talk about this and accept it and create even new language around it.
Yeah, and that was another thing, like about like perceptions of sex. There's stigma, there's like fear, and there's a discomfort, and those are things we need to work through so we can get to a better place.
Yeah, I think another theme I noticed was there's a lack of leadership in pushing for the idea of making PrEP available to nearly anybody who needs it.
Right.
And so without that leadership, it's not being pushed fast enough through the system. And I think one of the reasons there isn't leadership or that it hasn't happened fast is because it's to do with gay men. And unfortunately, we have to remember that society is still learning to accept homosexuality as equal to heterosexuality, and I think that's something we forget sometimes when we're surrounded by a big city like Toronto. We think like everybody accepts this already. Come on. But if we were dealing with cancer and we had this pill to help prevent, it would I believe that it would 100% have been pushed through faster.
Yeah, there would have been different factors, different issues that would come up. So
there's no reason in doing the what if, but I think that's one of the things we have to remember as to why we have to push even harder.
Analogies are really important. I think I brought up the analogy with the birth control pill, between PrEP and the birth control pill. Like, there's a lot of things we can draw on from the past and from thinking about, like, what would this be like if we change something in the scenario? What aspects of this situation are salient? Like, which ones are affecting what's happening in policy and in people's lives and at the doctor's office, all these kinds of things.
I'm hoping you enjoyed this new style of content that I'm providing on the channel. And if there's specific things that you want to know more about, because we were here, I'm very, very happy to do some follow-up videos about like more information, and we can easily contact some of the speakers to get more information if that's something that you guys want to know more about too. As always, subscribe to the channel if you've never been here before. I do new videos every single week. Some are really fun and fabulous, and some are educational, and some are just there to make you laugh. So come back next week, like this video, and y'all stay fabulous now. Bye. Hi everybody, my name is Justin Gerhard. I am here at the Gay Men's Health Summit in Vancouver, and I'm joined with Hetty Fry,
the longest sitting female MP in Canada's history. 24 years.
Round of applause for that.